Hi guys, welcome back to another video. A little bit different again this time, still kind of gaming related, but we're going to take a look at my movie games. Recently watched a film, we'll come to it when we go through the films, and it got me thinking about this kind of subject. And I've got quite a lot of movies anyway in general. I'm a massive movie fan and collector as well as games. This kind of shelf here and this one are just full of films, as well as a load downstairs and in my other room. I've probably got as many films as I do games, probably well over 2,000 films. All legit, retail, there's no copies. And yeah, I do have a little kind of subset, if you like, Eddie. I had this before this whole subset thing was even a thing. Something I already did without, I suppose, realising or giving it a name as subset. But yeah, I like to collect and watch movies based on games. Being a gamer and a movie fan, it's, you know, it just goes hand in hand. So I've got quite a few. There is some I don't have that I have seen. There's probably going to be a lot here that people have never heard of. Probably don't realise they made a movie of the game. Which should be quite interesting to some people, hopefully, and maybe even go find it for yourself and give it a watch. So go through the ones that I really like. Obviously, there's loads and not very good. Game into movies doesn't tend to do very well. There's not many great ones, but there are some good ones. And personal preference. Some of the ones I like might not be some of the ones you like. So at the end, after we've looked through all the ones that I've got in my collection, I like to know people in the comments, or people could do a video of their own of movies that they do and don't like based on games. Be something quite interesting, I reckon. So we'll go through my kind of collection that I've got, and there's a few honourable mentions at the end that weren't based off a game but are game related, if that makes sense. But there's a few. So we'll crack on and get through some of these. I do have a few VHSs as well, which I've not dug out because they are still boxed up. I think there's only 3. But again, as we come to the movies, because quite a few genres and series as well. I'll try and remember them as we go. Obviously based on DVDs, Blu-rays, and some of my steelbooks here as well. So you can take a look at those. So we'll crack on, shall we? So first off, no particular order. I've just grabbed them off the shelf, so they're all random on here, so I'm going to have to fight through them and see what we've got. So based off a long-running series that has quite a few games in the series now, we had the Prince of Persia, Sands in Time film, starring Jake Gyllenhaal as the main kind of character. And a theme that will come throughout most of these is there's a few I haven't watched yet. And there's a few I have watched, I can't even remember much about them. My memory's that bad, or maybe the film was that bad I forgot it. I don't know. If I watched it again, I would remember it. And this is one of them. I do remember quite a bit. I remember it being quite enjoyable. It was alright, not perfect. Just a kind of fun popcorn film, if you like. It's Disney based, so, you know, you got all that. But it does have the dagger from the Sands of Time and allows him to rewind time and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of, I'd say, in the middle tier of liking to not liking. It was alright. So let's put that down there. Then a series, I don't think many people would have heard of this, and it's actually quite new. Let's find a date on these. 2016, and when was this one? 15. So 15 and 16. And yeah, it's Dead Rising. Game based on Dead Rising. So this is Dead Rising Watchtower, the first one. And they actually spawned a sequel, Dead Rising Endgame. So 2 Dead Rising films, obviously based from the Dead Rising games that were on the 360 and PS3. And then later on onto the Xbox One with the Dead Rising 4 and what have you. Yeah, it was okay. I know this first one, because I can see it on the back, it did have Frank West in it. So it did have the characters in there. Again, they were okay. Okay zombie movies. Just, I think definitely in the second one, as you can see on here, it did bring in the crafting system, where he built his own weapons, made his own weapons, had a bit more fun on it. Again, I don't remember loads about it. I watched it when it first came out. Yeah, we got the woman with the double chainsaws. So it did reference the game quite heavily, but it wasn't based on an actual game, if you like. It didn't follow the plot of one of the games, as far as I can remember. It was just loosely based around that area. But okay, so if you've not seen them, maybe worth giving them a check out. At some point, a few people may not realise actually came out. And another one, a lot of people talk about the Street Fighter film being one of the only, I suppose, fighting genres that came to film. But there was actually quite a few, including this one, Tekken. They actually made a Tekken film, for those that don't know. It did feature quite a lot of the fighters as well, as far as I can remember. And I think it does loosely base some of the, if you like, plot that kind of goes on the background of Tekken. Again, can't remember much about it. But I know it just has quite a few of the good fighters. Yoshimitsu's in there, I can see him on the front here. I know Brian's in there, obviously Jin Kazuma. I think some of the newer characters like Raven, Eddie Gordo's in there doing his capoeira. That's a pretty good fight with some of his stuff. Hatch is in there. Can't remember a lot of the others. I think there's a lot of name dropping in it as well. But yeah, basically based around a Tekken tournament in the year 2039, it says. And it follows Jin basically on his quest, his life, going through the tournament and what have you, and finding out about his family and that kind of stuff, I think, loosely. But yeah, Tekken film. Some of the fights were alright, I know that. And there is a couple of faces I do recognise from other films that you can pick out if you're into that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's Tekken. Then one, obviously I think like most people will know this because it's quite new, it's at high profile. The Assassin's Creed film, so this is the Steelbook one. I didn't mind it. Obviously Michael Fassbender playing the title role in this one. I did like the animus in this, the way they implemented it, where he was obviously in the machine around his waist, so he could actually move around the area like he was when he obviously went into the animus and he was seeing like the holograms and stuff. I did like that. That was really good. And the story wasn't too bad. Obviously not based on any of the games. It was a standalone thing. It was okay. Be interested to see if they do a sequel to it actually and where they go with it. I didn't mind it. Thought it was alright. Not too bad. Again, kind of mid-tier for me on the game to movies. Get a new pile. Here we go. So this was actually quite fun. And I think a lot of people didn't realise it came from a game, but obviously gamers would realise it came from a game. Dwayne The Rock Johnson in Rampage. It's another one of my steelbooks. And yeah, loosely based on that old game Rampage, where you got the giant creatures climbing buildings and smashing them up. So it says the gorilla, which is the main kind of character, if you like, of the film. And it does feature as well a massive, I think, wombat, alligator, and I think there's something else in there as well. I can't remember what the other monster is. Does it say on the back? Probably not. No. But yeah, for saying the game it was based on, how they made a movie of it, I thought worked really well. It's actually a really good popcorn flick. Plenty of action, high special effects and kind of stuff in it. And yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it. Not being a wrestling fan, I don't actually mind Dwayne Johnson in films. I actually quite like a lot of his films. I think he's pretty good. Just, like I say, popcorn movies, blockbusters, just, you know, mindless, sit and watch some explosions and some fun. Yeah, I actually really like this. I'd put this as in one of the better, if you like, game to movies. Just because it's just a lot of fun. And that's all there is to it, really. Definitely check that out if you've not watched it already. Put that down there. Then let's go. Well, talk about them. Let's go over to this one. So, I've not watched this one yet because I know there's another one and I don't have it yet. I forgot to keep looking for it, actually. Doing this has reminded me I need to pick it up. But this is Dead Space. Obviously based on Dead Space. This is Dead Space Aftermath that I have. And I know there's another one. Obviously these are more kind of anime films. The first one I think is called Deadfall or something like that. I think it's set before this one. So I was waiting to get that so I could watch both together. Because this, I think it just say, yeah, this is the sequel to the game, so this is follow the events afterwards. So when I get the other one, I'll then sit and watch through them. So I can't really tell you much about that, I'm afraid. But it is obviously based on Dead Space. It says it's a sequel to it, but it does look quite gruesome. It's got the necromorphs on the back. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go, actually. Then we got the t-shirt on. Mortal Kombat. So another one of the fighters bought the film. A lot of people didn't like this or moaned about it and still say it's trash. I really like this film. I really like this film. I think it's awesome. I remember hiring it from the video store when it first came out, and I watched it so many times. I just think it's absolutely amazing. I like the music in it, the voiceovers in it when they're about to fight. The characters in there are great. It's got a lot of characters in there. The fighting, I thought was alright at the time. It was pretty decent. Going back now, some of it's a bit, tongue-in-cheek fighting. But there's some authentic moves in there. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I put this up there as one of my favourites. I don't know why. It's just, yeah. It also spawned a sequel, which I do have on VHS. That's one of them. I have this one and the second one, the Annihilation, I think it's called. I have both on VHS. So I need to get the second one, try and find it on DVD or Blu-ray. That also featured a lot more characters, and even brought the animalities into the film as well, which was quite interesting and bizarre towards the end. But this one, really like. It's got Goro's in there, Sindel, Shang Tsung, as you'd expect. He making the Mortal Kombat tournament. And yeah, it's just based on Raiden going to find fighters of Earth to fight in the Earth realm, to go into the Netherworld and fight in Mortal Kombat, basically, to save the world. And I just really enjoyed it. Some great fights in there. The Scorpion fight against Sub-Zero. It's just great. Absolutely great. And some that you probably wouldn't know came out. And I've not actually watched any of these yet. I picked them up ages ago from, I can't even remember where, but they were really cheap. And I just thought I'd pick them up, just to give them a go. These are probably horrible. And I don't think they're based anywhere near the films. But yeah, so we've got Mortal Kombat Conquest. 4 hours of martial arts mayhem. Special collector's edition. On the back it has pictures of Shao Kahn, Vorpax, never even heard of her, Scorpion, Kung Lao, Cyro, Shang Tsung, Taija, never heard of her, and Sub-Zero. Oh, it says episodes. I think it's kind of like a series. So you've got episodes 1 to 2, episodes 3 and 4, and episodes 5 and 6. So yeah, it's kind of an episodic Mortal Kombat. No idea, haven't watched them yet, just not got round to it. And on the back of that one, we've got another one, Mortal Kombat Conquest Final Battle. Again, not watched it, don't know, there's no screenshots on the back. I don't know if it's the ending to that series, because it's still got the Conquest thing on there. No idea, unfortunately. And the last one, Mortal Kombat Conquest, so these are all kind of linked together, I believe. Quan Chi. I don't know. Just a load of blurb on the back, no pictures again. They're probably horrible, but I mean, that character, he looks good. He looks the part, and that's what I like to see. I like them looking the part and whatever. Yeah, the characters on the back of this one look pretty good. They are different actors to the movies. So like I say, it's a series, so completely different. But I don't know. At some point, maybe when I'm really bored, I might give them a watch. Just not seen them yet. So let's move on. We have, again, another one of my favourites, based on one of my favourite games as well. And I didn't mind these. I thought these were pretty good. Again, this is up there as one of my top game-to-movies. And it's the Silent Hill movies. So we've got Silent Hill, which I have on DVD. And Silent Hill Revelation on the Blu-ray Steelbook. Nice little zombie nurse there on the back. Yeah, I really like these. The first Silent Hill film is loosely based on the first game, with just some slight character differences. I think the main character actually a woman on this one, although it does have. I think Sean Bean's in this actually, isn't he? He plays the main guy. Does he play Harry Mason? I can't remember. It's actually been a while since I played it, but it does have the foghorn siren going off with the world changing. It does have the zombie nurses. I think Cheryl the cop. There is a cop on there. I think she does play the actual character from the game. It's pretty messed up. It's pretty good. Definitely one of my favourites. And obviously it spawned that sequel, which again had some pretty gruesome monsters in it, if I remember. Actually, this has Sean Bean in it. So is he in both of them? Or is he just in this one? I can't remember. Has it got Sean Bean on there? Bear with. Yeah, he is. Sean Bean's actually in both films. So I didn't actually realise that. I forgot he was in this second one. But yeah, some pretty gruesome monsters in that one. Really enjoyed them. They're pretty good. If you like your kind of horror stuff and you do like your Silent Hill games, I recommend checking them out, because they actually did a good job on them, I reckon. I don't think the second one's based off any of the games. I can't remember now. Again, this is probably, would I say it's my favourite? I don't know. Maybe. Or it's definitely up there as one of my favourites. Because it is kind of a sequel to the actual game. And a game that's just actually been re-released. Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. So obviously CGI based. And it is just amazing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. They did a really good job of it. Obviously set after the events of the game. And it's just great. The fight with Baphomet is absolutely fantastic, featuring all the characters working together to take down Baphomet, the big kind of dragon boss, if you like, the materia. It does feature all of the characters in there. All look stunning in their CGI. Voice acting is really good on it as well. There's some of the character shots there on the back. And it was just nice to go back to the world and visit some of the events that happened afterwards. And yeah, I definitely hold that as one of the best. I have this on VMU as well, when I watch it on my PSP when travelling quite a lot. And it's just so good, so good. Definitely check that out if you've not seen it already. And if you like Final Fantasy, there's no reason why you shouldn't have seen this already. Absolutely great film. So let's move on. That should be on that part. Where we go? Here we go. So another fighting-based movie, and I don't know. After Mortal Kombat, I would probably say this is my second favourite, maybe, near Street Fighter. I do actually like Street Fighter. We'll get to that. It's Dead or Alive. Yeah, the Dead or Alive film. Most people will probably know it because of all the scantily clad ladies that are in it, featuring Jamie Presley, Holly Valance. Yeah, it's great. Some of the fighters pretty good. Didn't really like the end fight thing where they're climbing up the scaffolding. It's a bit poor. But yeah, some good characters in it. A lot of the characters are in there. The downfall for me is my favourite character is not in the film. She's just name dropped along with a few other characters who are just name dropped and not actually in the film. Atomi being my favourite character. Sadly didn't make the film. But yeah, I just have a lot of the characters in there. There is some good fight scenes. It's kind of alright. Most people say it's crap, and it probably is crap, but I didn't mind it. Holly Valance walking around with next to nothing on in bikinis and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know where I'm coming from. It was alright. So, let's move on. Yeah, let's do these. Where's that one gone? No, we'll go on to this one. While I'm talking about Street Fighter, we'll get this out of the way. So I do have Street Fighter. Again, that's one of my VHSs. I've not upgraded it yet. So I didn't mind Street Fighter. I actually thought it was pretty good. A lot of the characters in there. The characters look good with their outfits and stuff, all except for Blanca and Dalsim. They were a bit of a letdown. Jean-Claude Van Damme doing what he does, kicking ass. Obviously, Kylie Minogue's in it as well. Yeah, I just thought there were some good fight scenes. And to base a film around a fighting game as hard enough as it is, I thought they did pretty well with it. I quite enjoyed it. I know people say it's trash, but this is one that most people probably didn't realise is they actually made another one. So this is Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. Yeah. Doesn't feature any of the original cast, and I don't know if it's even, I can't even remember if it's based around the same, like if it's a sequel or anything. I'm not sure. There are people in the film who will recognise from other films, including, I think, is that Michael Clark Duncan there on the back? I think he plays Balrog. yeah, again, a lot of the characters in there. Mostly, obviously, as it says, Legend of Chun-Li. It's based around Chun-Li, mostly. It's got Vega on the front there as well. Can't remember who else is in it. Does it actually say... Many years after Chun-Li has become an accomplished pianist after the death of her mother, the arrival of a strange ancient Chinese sculpture, blah, 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 man with a tattoo, some or another, things kicking off, doesn't actually mention anybody else. No, but it's her going on a mission, basically. It was okay. It's not great, as you'd probably expect. Bear with me while we take a quick sip of my root beer today. I love this stuff, but it stinks. It smells like TCP. So while it's in my mind, we'll get this one done, because this is... I watched the sequel to this last night, which is what inspired me, I suppose, to make this video. This first one I didn't mind. Karl Urban and The Rock in Doom. So this, again for you, Eddie, has a nice slipcover as well. So there's the main case, and it's got this really nice slipcover that I really like on there. It was okay. It weren't too bad. They could have done better. It had a couple of the monsters in there. I really do like the first person view mode that they have towards the end of the game, where you just see the gun going around the corridor shooting stuff. I thought that was fantastic and really well done. Altogether, it was okay. And I watched the sequel last night. Already forgot what it's bloody called. It was absolute trash. Absolute trash. It was awful. They only had one enemy in the... Well, they had two enemies. One was just a regular person who was kind of been zombified. And then one demon, and that was it. It was really poor. They could have done... There's so much they could have done with it. There's, like, you're making a Doom film. At least put some of the classic Doom demons in there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was absolutely trash. And they had kind of left it open at the end to make another one. Whether or not they do, I don't know, because it was so poor, so poor. Yeah, don't recommend it, but if you do want to have a laugh at your own expense, go check it out. But I can't even remember what it's called. Yeah, look for it, search it. It was horrible. Right, based on some more kind of horror-based games. Again, one that probably a lot of people didn't realise came to film. Alone in the Dark. So yeah, film based on Alone in the Dark. It has Christian Slater in it, Tara Reid, and Stephen Dorff. However you pronounce his second name in that. I know it does have, yeah, it says on the back, Enward Carnby is played by Christian Slater. I've only played one of the Alone in the Dark games. So I don't know if this is based off any of the other games. I do remember it not being great. But that, again, could have something to do with me not playing all the games, maybe. I don't know. I mean, watch it and judge for yourself. But yeah, I didn't rate it that much. And it's been so long since I've seen it. I can't tell you anything about it, I'm afraid. Sorry. But yeah, that's in the older collection there. Then another couple of games. Another couple of movies. Sequel. This first one's quite nice. It has a nice holographic or lenticular, is it? Sleeve there on the front. But yeah, they actually, again, something a lot of people might not realise, or even realise they made the first one, probably didn't know there was a sequel. But House of the Dead. So yeah, a movie based on House of the Dead that has a, like I say, a lenticular sleeve, but you probably won't see because of the glare. And House of the Dead 2, Dead Aim. So yeah. Then we've got this one based on an absolute fantastic game. Movie, so-so. I really like the case of this, it's quite shiny. Mark Wahlberg in Max Payne. A harder cut. But yeah, it's got quite a bit of glare today. Yeah, it's got a shiny case. It was okay. He obviously plays Max Payne. I know it does have the female character in there as well, who was in the second game, I believe. And did they I remember talking about it. I can't remember if they did it. I think they did the dream sequence where he follows the blood trail. Did they? I can't remember. It does have a little bit of bullet time in there. I can't remember much more about it, honestly. It was okay, I think, but again, not great. Oh, you can see the shininess now. Yeah, that's that one. Then, a movie that they brought out twice, but not related. I don't think it was a sequel. I think they just rebooted it. It's hard to pick a favourite. I probably like the first one, actually. I definitely liked... Sorry, I got really itchy foot. I definitely liked, I think, the actor from the first one more. You probably just didn't need to speak as much. It's Timmy... Is it Timmy? Yeah, Timothy Oliphant in Hitman. And then we had Hitman Agent 47. Blu-ray Steelbook on that one. Yeah, I actually really like this first one. It's true to the character, true to the games. Loosely based on some of them, I think, more on Hitman 2, where it's got the other agents in there as well. And he's trying to take them down and gets kind of betrayed and all that kind of stuff. Does it have Diana in that? I can't remember. Who's that woman that's there now? I definitely recognise her and I can't think of a bloody name. Can't see in the red dress there. Can't think of a name. Sorry, I can't see it on the back. The second one, it was okay. It did have some good action in it. I think I do prefer the first one though, the original. Plus, there's a nice scene in there where he kind of jumps off a balcony with a rope and smashes through somebody else's. And as he walks through the room, there are kids playing Hitman on their computer. Thought that was pretty cool, a nice little nod. So I did enjoy that. But yeah, they're worth checking out. Put them again mid to high tier, if you like. Then, well, this isn't based. Well, it is based on a game, but it's not based on a game. So it's based on a game series, but it had a standalone film. And obviously, Final Fantasy series, massive series. Each one is different. They brought out a film, massively CGI'd, and it was absolutely fantastic. We've got Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. So not based on, obviously, one of the actual games. It's its own thing, but it's Final Fantasy, if you like. Although it didn't have much in common with any of the Final Fantasies, really, other than a character called Sid. I think that was about it. Obviously, every Final Fantasy has a character called Sid in it. But yeah, the CGI in it is absolutely phenomenal. Like, the characters look so real. And some of the enemies that are in there were pretty cool. I actually don't remember much about the plot and the story. I might have to give this another watch. I know I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I just can't remember much about it. But that's my memory for you. Right, let's crack on. So we have, again, kind of little shorts, animes, little stories based around the Halo universe. This is Halo Legends. So 7 stories from the heart of the Halo universe, just based on different characters. There is some based on Master Chief. Got the Arbiter there on the back. Follows ODSTs and all that kind of stuff. If you're into the Halo universe, if you like Halo, definitely check it out. There's some really good stories on here and some good animation. So yeah, not much more to say about that really. But pretty good. Check that out. Then we'll move on to, let's get this series out of the way because they're all on top. So we have 3 movies based on this game. 2 were standalone titles with one and a sequel, and then they rebooted it. So we had the original Angelina Jolie version of Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider 2 Cradle of Life. When these came out, I thought they were fantastic. Really liked them. Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft, I thought was spot on. She got the part. Added all their Tomb Raider in action, all the stuff on the surface, in the real world, if you like, was just authentic. And then when they go into the tombs, that's when shit kicked off, basically, and anything could happen. First one, I know she goes looking for a father, and they like have some kind of almost like Sands in Time or something. It's based on that. Daniel Craig's actually in the first one. I think he plays the villain, and yeah, there's a massive puzzle at the end you have to sort out, and she can kind of travel through time or see a glimpse into the past and that kind of stuff to meet her father. It's pretty good. I did like the music in it as well. At the end, you got, I think it's Basement Jack's blasting out. It's pretty good where she gets dual pistols fighting the robot. And the second one, obviously based around the Cradle of Life, hence the title. I've just noticed something. I don't think it is. It's not Gerald. Oh, it is Gerald Butler. Bloody hell, I forgot he was in it. So Gerald Butler's in the sequel. Yeah, the scene with that where they go through, I think it's a place in Africa, and they're going through it's hard to explain, like some vents coming out of like a desert floor, and there's all these monsters that like burst out of them and grab people and take them back into this kind of oil effect thing. I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed them for what they were. I didn't mind them. Again, not really based on any of the games, but standalone Lara adventures, if you like. They were okay. And obviously we had the reboot. This was loosely based on a reboot of the game as well. Tomb Raider. The new actress, who has Alicia Vikander, probably butchered that name. She was okay as the new Lara Croft. Yeah, cast pretty well. Like I say, loosely based on the first reboot game as well. It was alright. I enjoyed it. It could have been better. Did have a bit of slowdown in parts, and there wasn't enough Tomb Raider action for me, if you like, but there wasn't really in the game either. So kind of an origin story as well for the character. So it'd be interesting to see a sequel come out from that and what they do with that as well. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, shall we? And that is a series. So on to the last series now, and there's a lot to get through on these. We'll go through, yeah, not the main series. We'll go through the kind of, are the anime, not really, CGI films. So Resident Evil, and it spawned quite a few. Most people know the movies, but they did bring out a couple of CGI films as well. So first of all, we've got Generation. This follows Leon and Claire, I believe. I'm just going to look on the back. Yeah, so Leon and Claire. Actually really enjoyed this. Pretty good CGI film. It's got the characters in there shooting zombies. Did it? No, it had a different enemy. It didn't have Wesker in it. But it's based on kind of a zombie outbreak. I think this one was based around, yeah, an airport. But really enjoyed it. I need to go back and watch it again and refresh my memory. And I think this was a direct sequel to that as well, because again, it did feature Leon. Who else was in it? And Rebecca Chambers was in this one as well. So this is Resident Evil Vendetta, and it did have a kind of tyrant on it as well. This is a steelbook version. It's quite a nice one. You can see the back. I've got this massive guy as well. This minigun. But yeah, got zombie dogs on there with a bike chase. I can't remember too much more about this one. It looks like Chris might be in it as well. I'm not sure. It does look like the character that looks like Chris. I can't remember much more about it. When Fearless Emily, Revenge, Deadly Virus. Yeah, Chris Redfield, it says on the back. So it does have Chris in it. Chris and Leon work together with Rebecca Chambers to bring down a death merchant and save New York City. Yeah, give them a go. I remember they are pretty good. My lights just died because my batteries died. Everything's falling apart, so we've got a nice dark shadow now. Oh well, we're on to the last few movies from games. So, got to get these in order. Try and remember the order as we go. Let's look at them. So first off, nice and easy, Resident Evil, starring Milla Jovovich. First one got Michelle Rodriguez in there as well. Loosely based around, is it based around the first film? Not really. It just featured the mansion from the first film, and sections and parts from games, but it is its own story. It follows Milla Jovovich, who plays Alice, who's never mentioned in any of the games. But yeah, it follows her character throughout the series, and yeah, she gets powers, loses powers throughout the series, and yeah, it's about them tracking down the Umbrella Corporation, finding out what's going on. Wesker comes into it later on, we'll get to that. And yeah, first one was okay. Okay to kick it off with, didn't mind it. Then we had, I can't remember which is, find the dates, which was a sequel. 2008, 2004. So I guess this was a sequel then. So Apocalypse came next, and I would say this is probably the best one, if not one of the better ones of the series. It did feature the Nemesis. It had Jill Valentine in it as well. Started bringing more of the characters into the series. It was basically loosely based around Resident Evil 3, the game, featuring the Nemesis tracking down the stars, basically. It had the whole, Carlos in it, that's it, I can see it there on the back. And them kind of mercenaries working together. I think it had William Birkin. It had William Birkin in there as well. Did it have Sherry? I think it had Sherry briefly in it. Which is why it's one of my better ones, because it did have a lot of the characters. And the Nemesis, there is a picture on the back. The Nemesis looked absolutely fantastic. Don't know if you'll be able to see now, my light's gone. Oh, glare. I'll be able to see properly. Let's see if I can. There we go. So yeah, it did have the Nemesis in there. There we are, we're back. Then this was the third one, so we got Extinction. I didn't really like this one much. It was basically in the barren wasteland in Nevada, and it was just going through the desert, them trying to get to an underground facility. It did have the zombie crows in there. Did it feature? I think it had. The last one had Jill Valentine. This one I think introduced Claire Redfield. The character's definitely on the back. So yeah, I think this was the introduction of Claire to the series. It was okay. Then, which one came next to the... Oh, these are steelbooks, and I've got the dates on. I think this was next, and this is my... Again, one of my favourite ones. It was Afterlife, because it had the big axe guy from Resident Evil 4, 5? 5, I think. See if there's a date on the back of this one. 2011. So yeah, this field started to get to the zombies with the bug from number 4 in it. But yeah, the axe guy, hammer guy, whatever it is, yeah, he was pretty cool in there. Nice slow-mo scene where she shoots coins throughout a gun at him. It was pretty good. Some good fight scenes. This had Wesker in it. I think he was introduced in the last film. Also had Chris Redfield introduced in this one as well. I can see it there on the back. One of the better ones. Really enjoyed that one. Then I think this was after... No, last one was 11. Yeah, 12 a year later. So then we had Retribution. People probably don't realise how many movies they actually made. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... So actually 6 in the series. Nice steelbook on that one as well. This one, I think... Yeah, this one introduced Leon. So they're bringing more characters into the movie franchise. Also had Barry was in it as well. And I'm looking at the back. It has, I can't remember why, but Michelle Rodriguez was back in it as the same character. And I can't remember why. Something happens, plot based. Obviously, it gets all a bit messed up. That one was actually pretty good as well. I think that has a pretty cool fight scene with Wesker in it as well, which was based straight from one of the games. With Chris and Claire fighting. Chris and Jill. Jill comes back in this one. But yeah, there's a great fight scene with Wesker. I think it's in that one. And then we had the last one. Resident Evil, The Final Chapter. And it says Final Chapter, but they left it wide open to make another bloody movie. There's been no talk whether they will do. I think they did say this would be the last one. They just left it open for some reason. But yeah, nice steelbook as well. And yeah, kind of tries to tie it all up, really. It was okay. It wasn't one of the best ones. It did have a few more of the enemies or monsters from Resident Evil 4, like the flying bat things and what have you. I think it had all the characters back. Jill, Claire, Chris and everybody. It was okay. Not one of my favourite ones. So they are all my movies based off of games. I now have 4 honourable mentions of movies that are game related but aren't based on games. So first up, Gerald Butler in Gamer. This was okay, actually. A few faces you recognise in this. I think they take convicts and they put them, people can control them in some kind of virtual reality thing, and yeah, it's really bizarre, but actually quite enjoyable. It's not too bad. Definitely worth checking that out. When was this made? Can't find a date. 2009. So yeah, quite an old film now, but yeah, worth checking out. And this one, I mentioned this one, I think to the Retroheads a little while back. This was made in 1999. This came out. A film called Existence. Quite a niche title. It does have William Dafoe in it. I remember that. Really bizarre film based on virtual reality. And this guy makes a virtual reality thing, gives it a testing group to test. And it's one of the things where they don't know if they're in the game or not, or in the real world. And it keeps switching between various things, and people are taking forms of characters, and they get different characters depending where they are, and all that kind of stuff. And it's based on 2 people who are trying to kind of take the game down. But at the end, it's kind of an Inception thing. You don't know if they're in the game or not, because the game's that real. Yeah, a really weird, bizarre film. Obviously, before VR got big. I'm just looking who else is in there. Jude Law's in it. Ian Holm. Christopher Eccleston. A few names you might recognise. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good film. Just really bizarre and hard to get your head around the first time. You might need to watch it. You need to watch it again. But worth checking out. Then we had this a couple of years back. Just find a date on it. 2015. Wow, it's older than I thought. More for the retro gamers. So we had Pixels. Nice steelbook there. Yeah, this is great. Adam Sandler. It's more of a comedy. Kevin James in it. Peter Dinklage. It's based on a group of middle-aged guys who used to be big into the gaming, and the government sends some kind of thing into space, and it has all these game characters on it and music and whatever, and then these aliens come to Earth to invade Earth, but take the form of 8-bit games and all the older games, such as Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga, Space Invaders and all that kind of stuff. And it's down to these gamers to fight the aliens and do the levels or the missions to get through. Quite enjoyable. Again, just a little popcorn flick. Not too bad. Actually quite funny in parts as well. Worth giving a go. And then one which is actually based on a book, but is kind of game related. It has so many nods to games and Easter eggs in it, and it's one of my favourite movies of the last few years. And it's up there as probably one of my favourite movies of all time. I've not read the book yet, and I know a lot of people complain because it's not the same as the book. There's bits obviously missing or different. You're always going to get that with books to movies. But yeah, I thought the movie as itself was pretty damn good. When did this come out now? A couple of years ago? Probably longer than I thought. 18, so a couple of years ago. Ready Player One. Fantastic movie. Steelbook there again. So many game references in it and pop culture and all that kind of stuff, which is what it's based on, really. But that, definitely check this film out. It's absolutely fantastic. Some great scene in there, and try and find as many Easter eggs as you can, and how many games can you spot and game characters in the film. I've just thought of another one thinking that. There's the Wreck-It Ralph movies as well. I don't own them, the missus actually owns them. So they'll give that another honourable mention as well. Wreck-It Ralph, because it is based on a game as well, really. And again, just feature a lot of other game characters, which also has a sequel as well. So the 2 Wreck-It Ralph films, so we'll give them an honourable mention, or they should actually be in there, because they are technically based on games. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed looking at this. I hope you found something new, something to pass your time if you're in isolation, and try and search out some of these films and give a watch while you've got some spare time on your hand. And yeah, again, let me know in the comments what your favourite movies from games are, which are your worst, and all that kind of stuff. Do a VR response if you feel like it. If you've got some movies yourself, show them off. There is, like I say, a few I'm missing. Obviously, the Super Mario Brothers movie, I don't actually own. That was terrible, though. Absolutely terrible. I think they made a Blood Rain movie based on the game. And yeah, there's many more. If there's some I've missed, let me know in the comments if you've got or seen some game to movies that I've not mentioned. That'd be interesting as well. Something for me to look out for to add to this collection. So take care, guys, and hopefully we'll see you soon. All things being well, whether it's through YouTube or in person. And enjoy the rest of your time. See you later.